Hi, hello, my name's Ollie Bliss and this is my channel Book Drawer. For those who don't know, I enjoy looking at queer fiction and occasionally I create images out of the queer fiction that I'm looking at. And today I am looking at If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. So I just want to say how much I enjoyed this book. So much. It's so good. So much joy from reading this. It's just like a really light, fun, young adult novel, and it gives you all the good feels. I had a little bit of an issue with the ending just because there was so much drama, and I don't even know if it necessarily needed the level of conflict that it has at the end. But anyway, it had it, and it was fun, and it was well, fun's probably the wrong word. It was a lot, and it all happened in a rush at the end, and that was kind of terrifying. But I guess like the end result, it's that all American feel good feeling by the end of it. So that was cool. Um, so about the book. So this is all about Amanda, and Amanda is kind of starting a new life, and she's having to live with her dad, and she's got this secret. Her secret was that she used to be called Andrew, and as the back of the book says, secrets always have a way of cutting out. And so she's basically trying to start renew her life in this new high school, and she makes a bunch of friends. And it's just about that experience. But this is the last video that I've done looking at living authentic lives. So I've done a couple of videos before, and I'll add a link to a previous video on that. And I just wanted to talk a bit about authentic living in this book. What I love about Amanda is that she is an incredibly caring and kind person, who is very friendly and open. And I think there is something nice in terms of how she forms her bonds, and it's just about her personality. But it is also interesting as well in terms of she is an American beauty. She's just described as American kind of beauty in the book. And so people just instinctively are drawn to her. But alongside that beauty is the fact that she is just a wonderful person. And through the narrative of the book, when she is questioning, inquiring, she's non-judgmental, and it's just really nice. And she's very accepting of other people. And what I particularly enjoyed is how she reflects how each of the friends that she builds, there is this initial perception that people can have of them in the way that they present themselves. But everyone has their own personal struggle with it, which they're dealing with. And with each of the people that she becomes friends with, some of that is explored a little bit more. And I don't want to be too spoilery about it, but I thought that was really nice. So, for example, she goes to church with Anna, and the Reverend is doing like a reading or whatever, and he kind of challenges the audience, and he says, "We're too concerned with the external, with our appearance, but it's what others think of us when we should be concerned with the internal, with our hearts." And I thought that was really nice, and he talks a little bit more about that. And she thinks about the impact of how she is hiding part of her past, and how is she trying to present herself and live her life now, and is she living this authentic life, or is she just being a closed version of herself to other people, and does she have to protect herself from that? And some of those themes are included in this image which I'm creating now, but there are two really striking bits for me which I wanted to include in this image. And when Amanda has her first kiss, she says that it felt like sitting in front of a fire, the warmth spreading across every bit of her skin. And she also describes in a different section a bit later on, when she's talking to her friend about this boy that she likes, she says, "It's easy to act like my past never happened, but it feels like I've put up this wall around my heart." So in this image, I just wanted to kind of reflect that tension that she's experiencing, where she really wants to be this full version of herself and share her history and her truth, um, but it's very exposing, and she's very vulnerable and worried about that. So I was trying to incorporate those elements together in this image. And yes, those are Lego bricks. I wanted to use them as a reference. I went back to my parents, and so I might be using Lego in the future. We'll have to wait and see. In the background, you can also see like in the dark parts of a corn maze, and that's because in the book she is going through a corn maze with a friend called Chloe, and they're having this discussion, and it's quite personal and confusing for Chloe, but through their discussion, they kind of find a sense of resolve. Mazes can be quite overwhelming and give you a sense of fear, but when you're with a friend, it can be easier. And I thought them sharing and supporting each other to find their way through this maze, both physically and metaphorically through their relationship and the issue that they're facing, was really lovely, and something that I think Amanda is grappling with herself through this book. So I just thought that was definitely worth drawing into this narrative as well. And also, I should say, the person who I am referencing from is Jordan Tierney, who I follow on Instagram. I freaking love her. I think she has this really striking, enigmatic look. A lot of her pictures of self seem really open, but there's something that I get a sense of, like, I don't know, like being slightly afraid in oneself, but it's also quite daring and bold. This selfie, for example, is using no filters, no makeup, which I'm like, yeah, that's pretty damn cool. So everybody should basically go check out Jordan. I will add a link down below to her account. Yeah, so I guess these are the main things which I wanted to really cover with my general thoughts on If I Was Your Girl in exploring this image. My next video will be doing a full review. We'll add some spoilers in there, so stay clear of that until you've read it if you just mainly want to know a little bit about the book. But I really enjoyed the ride. I really enjoyed the book overall, and I think people will get a lot out of this book. So I encourage lots of people to go check it out. I also wanted to see if people prefer having singular image over like collage styles or animations. It's good to get some feedback for the people who have been watching my channel for a little while, because this is a bit different in terms of stuff that I've done previously, but in my last video people quite liked having just a single image to focus on. So I don't know, I'm just kind of mentally exploring what I'm doing with my channel with you guys, so feedback is always helpful. This has been awesome to catch up with you all. Go check out this incredible book. It's a really lovely story, and it just gives you some real insight and consideration for what other people may be going through around you, and just instills compassion in other people, which I think is a really wonderful thing. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, like and subscribe, check me out, add comments below, and I will see you again soon. Okay, bye.